What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the video. Hit the subscribe button. Share the video as always, guys. Guys, let's get into this. David Benavidez went in on Caleb Plant. Sweet Hands Plant. He ripped him. He said, Caleb Plant, you know, I don't like the guy. I'm going to destroy him when I get in the ring with him. I dislike him, you know. Apparently, Caleb Plant, there was this beef that happened with him and his brother, David Benavidez, his brother Jose Benavidez, where apparently he sucker punched him. You know, apparently, you know, they had a back and forth inside the gym. And David Benavidez said, you know, I don't like Caleb Plant. You know, he's fake. Or he said something along those lines. And he goes, I want to beat him up. I want to destroy him. The general consensus is that David Benavidez would destroy Caleb Plant. The general consensus is that David Benavidez will walk through Caleb Plant and batter him. That's what a lot of the boxing fans think. That's what David Benavidez thinks. He believes that Caleb Plant's got no power and he'll walk through Caleb Plant and batter him. He said Canelo did the same. Canelo, you know, battered him, and he goes, I knew Canelo would demolish him. I'm going to demolish him just like Canelo did. David Benavidez, firstly, has very slow feet. A lot more slower feet than Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez has faster hands than Canelo when putting them together. But your fast hands are no good if you have slow feet. Because, especially when you have a moving target like Caleb Plant, you know, people say that David will just walk through Caleb Plant and he won't respect his power. I don't believe David Benavidez has the chin of a Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez's chin is proven. It's iron cast granite. You know, when you hear granite, it's granite. And I don't think that David Benavidez has got that kind of chin. David Benavidez is a guy that a lot of the boxing fans are putting on a very high pedestal. You know, and David Benavidez is getting a lot of hype right now. You know, a lot of people seem to think he's the best at 168 pounds. A lot of people seem to think that he is the man. Benavidez, he's a good fighter. As I pointed out, he's got really fast hands. But for me, he's a bit of a technically flawed fighter. He's got really fast hands, but I feel he's got slow feet. I feel he's a bit flat-footed. And having fast hands is no good if you've not got the fastest feet. Because when you've got a slick mover, he can outbox you. I think some of you guys are maybe getting caught up. And until I see Benavidez goes in against Plant and destroys Plant, then I'll know that David Benavidez is for real. Until I see David Benavidez against a slick boxer like Caleb Plant, only then I will say, okay, you know what, this guy's for real. Because at the minute, his level of competition has been very poor. And to be honest with you, I also question David Benavidez's power. Because if you look at a lot of the guys that, you know, I think Ronald Ellis, didn't he go the distance with him? The last guy, was it Kyrone Davis, was it? Or Tyrone, I can't remember. Was it Kyrone? I think it was Kyrone Davis. He went 8-9 rounds and he was taking David Benavidez's power quite comfortably. You know, I believe, didn't the corner stop it or something like that? He was taking David Benavidez's power. So it doesn't seem to me that David Benavidez has got knockout power. So, although Caleb Plant may not have the punch power to stop Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez might not have the power to, or Caleb Plant might not have the power to stop David Benavidez. Does David Benavidez have the power to hurt and stop Caleb Plant? Most importantly, because Caleb Plant showed a very good chin against Saul Canelo Alvarez. But that aside, does David Benavidez have the feet to catch up to him? Canelo Alvarez has very educated feet. Does David Benavidez have the feet to catch up to Caleb Plant? Because I can see Caleb Plant outboxing David Benavidez. I can. And where this fight's going to be won is if David Benavidez can wear Caleb Plant down, which I'm not sure. Because Caleb Plant showed he's quite a tough cookie. He showed me he's very, very tough. And David Benavidez hasn't really showed me one-punch knockout power or knockout power. You know, a lot of the guys that he's been facing have been taking his power. Caleb Plant is a very big super middleweight. Yeah, David Benavidez might be the biggest of super middleweights, but I don't think he's got huge punching power, and I think he's got slow feet. And I think Caleb Plant can really take advantage of that. I honestly believe that Caleb Plant could outbox David Benavidez. It's just whether David Benavidez, I don't think he's going to knock Plant out with one shot. I think it comes down to whether David Benavidez can wear down Caleb Sweet Hands Plant in order to stop him. Otherwise, I think David Benavidez may have a problem in that fight, because David Benavidez, I've seen his fights, his feet are slow. Someone like Caleb Plant, who's a very fast mover, slick mover, not so easy to hit, you know. I actually think that Benavidez would have a lot of trouble. I don't think those combination punches that Benavidez throws are going to be landing on Caleb Plant, or they're not going to be landing. Combination punches aren't going to be landing on Caleb Plant. I think he might hit him with one shot and then Caleb Plant will be away. And that's why I think that's a very, very tricky fight for David Benavidez. And I actually think Andrade is also a very, very tricky fight for David Benavidez. I actually think a fight like that for Benavidez would be a real problem stylistically, just because of, like I said, the slow feet. The slow feet will be a big problem. I'm telling you guys, man. I'm telling you guys, like, yeah, Benavidez looks good when he has a guy in front of him, but a mover would give Benavidez a lot of trouble. It just comes down to whether Benavidez can get to Caleb Plant, wear him down. Otherwise, I don't see him outboxing Caleb Plant. Now, the thing is, because Caleb Plant, let's not get it twisted, Caleb Plant is very fast himself. Caleb Plant throws very good combination punches himself. And Caleb Plant is defensively a lot more responsible than David Benavidez, who's not as defensively responsible. Yes, Plant might not have the power to hurt Benavidez, right? But Plant is more defensively sound, whereas David Benavidez isn't as defensively sound. So Plant might be outlanding and outworking David Benavidez, even though David Benavidez might have the slightly fast hands, not hugely faster. Not hugely faster, because Caleb Plant's very fast of hands. But most importantly, Caleb Plant's also very fast of feet. He's got a very hard defense to penetrate. You know, and David Benavidez will have a lot of trouble against Caleb Plant. A lot of trouble, believe you me. Some of you seem to think that Caleb Plant is just going to get wiped out in that fight. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I don't think that's an easy fight whatsoever. Caleb Plant really showed me something in that fight when he fought Canelo. You know, he was really doing some good stuff in there. You know, he won a couple of rounds as well. You know, I honestly think that Caleb Plant's style is horribly wrong for David Benavidez. It just comes down to whether David Benavidez can cut off the ring, wear him down enough, and hit him enough. Because that's also going to be an issue, because David Benavidez is quite predictable. Because of his slow feet, right, someone like Caleb Plant can keep him on the outside. Even if David Benavidez is walking at him, I feel like Caleb Plant can make him miss and move around all night and pot shot him with his fast hands and probably win a points decision. But again, it comes down to whether David Benavidez can get to Caleb Plant. I honestly think that's a very, very difficult fight for David Benavidez. I don't see it the way some of you guys see it. I don't see it like that. Caleb Plant is a very, very responsible, technically sound fighter. You know, he's very defensively sound as well. That's not an easy fight for David Benavidez. That is a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight, guys. I'm telling you guys. That is not an easy fight. I think some of you guys are sleeping on David Benavidez. Are sleeping on Caleb Plant in that fight. You guys are sleeping on Caleb Plant, because Caleb Plant can really fight. He can really, really fight. He's a very, very good fighter. And I personally think he's going to give David Benavidez a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And I'm really intrigued and interested to see that fight. Guys, I want to talk about a fight. You know what? I don't really talk about women's boxing much, and I need to probably start, because I need to start giving women's boxing more attention. We've got a monster fight A monster fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. The Katie Taylor, the Irish icon, you know, female icon, probably one of the greatest Irish fighters of all time, you know, Katie Taylor. We need to put more respect on women's boxing. There's some fights out there like this one, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano and Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, which really deserve a lot more attention. You know, these are very, very good fights. And like, I remember when Katie Taylor fought Delphine Passoon. That was an absolute cracker. Both times they fought was an absolute cracker. And I and many other YouTubers probably need to give female boxing a lot more attention. We need to speak about it a lot more, because these are warriors that go in the ring. Katie Taylor is a warrior. Amanda Serrano is a warrior. These are fighters. We need to stop differentiating between female fighting, female boxing, and men's boxing. These are warriors inside that boxing ring. And I actually think Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is going to be a great fight. Katie Taylor is the bigger, you know, she's the bigger fighter. Amanda Serrano is moving up. How do I see this fight playing out? Katie Taylor, as brilliant as she was, you know, great amateur career, great professional career. What a career she's had. Unbelievable talent. You know, she's got really fast hands, great IQ, special fighter. Special fighter. However, of recent fights against Natasha Jonas, against Jennifer Han, against Delphine Passoon, both times, I've been seeing some slippage. And I'll be honest with you, I actually thought she lost to Delphine Passoon. And I actually, and people may disagree with me here, but I actually thought she lost to Delphine Passoon twice. I thought the Natasha Jonas fight was a very, very close fight. Very, very close fight. And Natasha Jonas was a huge underdog, but she performed out of her skin in that fight. She performed out of her skin. And I was really impressed. I was really impressed with her performance in that fight. But of late, Amanda Serrano looked fantastic in her last fight. She looked brilliant. She was on the Jake Paul undercard. And big respect to Jake Paul, who's promoting, you know, he's the promoter of Amanda Serrano, and he's promoting her and trying to get her, increase her profile, giving her huge paydays. And Amanda Serrano has given Jake Paul his respect. So, you know, a lot of people give Jake Paul a lot of criticism, but this guy's doing a lot of good for boxing as well. And what he's doing with Amanda Serrano, you know, deserves a lot of respect. You know, he's giving more attention to female boxing. And here's the thing. I think this is a cracking fight. I think, you know, a 7-division world champion against an icon in Katie Taylor, who's probably changed the women's game, the way she's transcended female boxing. Katie Taylor, especially here in the UK, I think is exceptional what she's done. However, when we're talking about boxing, we're talking about the fight. I think Amanda Serrano is on the climb, and I think Katie Taylor is on the slide. Now, I think Amanda Serrano wins this fight. I was very impressed by Amanda Serrano's performance against in a last fight on the undercard of Jake Paul. She was brilliant. She's bubbly, she's energetic, she's a great fighter. And I just feel, in my opinion, I think she's going to outwork Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's very tough. She's got a granite chin. I'm not sure if Amanda Serrano could stop her. I won't be shocked if she does. I wouldn't be shocked if she does. Because like I said to you, I think Katie Taylor is on the slide. And she's been on the slide for me in the last couple of fights. I think Amanda Serrano is getting Katie Taylor at the right time. Maybe a couple of years ago, the fight would have played out completely different. Maybe Taylor would have been too big, too quick, too strong. But I think Katie Taylor isn't as sharp as she used to be. I don't think she's as fast as she used to be. And I think Amanda Serrano is still at her very best. And I just think Amanda Serrano is going to rise to the occasion. And I think she's going to pull it off. And I think she's going to beat Katie Taylor. That's my take on that fight. Although I will say this, may the best female win. May the best boxer win, because I think those are two great ambassadors of female boxing. And we need more women boxers like Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, who have helped transcend the sport, helped make the sport bigger. And most importantly, they are fighting each other, which is going to grow the sport. So you have to respect Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. And I hope both these female boxers get paid huge amount of money for this fight, because they deserve it, because they're warriors. And I guarantee you this is going to be a cracking fight. Katie Taylor's fights are always great. Amanda Serrano's fights always full of action. This is going to be a cracking fight. This is going to be a great fight. Let me know who you think wins this fight, by the way. Who have you got winning this fight? I think it's an absolute blockbuster. We need to start talking about females boxing a lot more. And a fight like this, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano definitely deserves some coverage, definitely needs to be talked about a lot more. You know, and I'm one of those culprits that doesn't talk about female boxing. And I need to talk about it. I need to give more attention to female boxing, because they deserve it. Like I said, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor are warriors, you know. And hopefully fighters like Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor can help grow female boxing to another level. They already have helped it. Hopefully now they can inspire the next generation to come through and make the sport even bigger. You know, so leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Who have you got winning? Who have you got winning between Caleb Sweet Hands Plant and David Benavidez, and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.